This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. An announcement on the rollout of COVID-19 booster doses in Sri Lanka. People urged not to fear mild symptoms developed after booster dose. In COVID news, 714 infections in total recorded. Sri Lanka confirms 19 more COVID deaths. An Israeli study finds the Pfizer booster vaccine protects against Omicron. Importers say the wholesale price of imported rice has decreased. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka announces to the public to take immediate measures to change US dollars into Sri Lankan rupees of their possessing. In news overseas, Kentucky tornadoes desperate search for survivors as death toll rises. In sports, Matthews 73 on return from injury wins it 4 stars. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says that a decision has been taken to administer the third dose or the booster dose of the COVID-19 vaccine to everyone over the age of 20 years. Speaking to reporters in Anuradhapura yesterday, he said that the country has reached the final phase of the vaccination program. He said the government has now decided to provide the Pfizer vaccine as a third dose to everyone above the age of 20 years who have received the first and second doses of any vaccine. He said that the booster jab can be obtained by visiting the nearest vaccination centre or the easiest location available to them. The State Minister said that they have decided to expedite the rollout of the booster dose due to the fact that people will be travelling much more during the festive season at the end of the year. People should not have undue fears about the mild COVID-like symptoms experienced after receiving their booster dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, Dr. Malkanthi Galhena, a family health specialist, says. When you get the vaccine, you will develop some mild COVID-like symptoms. Developing these symptoms means that the jab is having a positive impact on the immune system. She explained that most people opt not to get vaccinated because of headaches and body aches. However, there are many other factors that can cause such side effects, Dr. Galhena pointed out. Some of the symptoms developed after vaccination are body aches, headaches, and minor health issues such as vomiting. People who received the second dose 5 or 6 months ago do not have any neutralization ability against Omicron, while they do have some against the Delta strain. Keely Regivioke, the director of the Infectious Diseases Unit at Sheba, told reporters. The good news is that with the booster dose, it increases about 100-fold. There is a significant protection of the booster dose. It is lower than the neutralization ability against the Delta, about 4 times lower, she said. The daily count of COVID-19 cases confirmed in Sri Lanka moved to 714 yesterday as 172 more people tested positive for the virus, the epidemiology unit said. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus reported in the country to 572,902. As many as 545,051 recoveries and 14,614 deaths have been confirmed in Sri Lanka since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 13,200 active cases in total are currently under medical care, official figures showed. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's Credit Cards from People's Bank.
The Director General of Health Services has confirmed another 19 coronavirus-related deaths yesterday, increasing the death toll in the country due to the pandemic to 14,614. The deaths confirmed yesterday include 13 males and 6 females, while 3 of the victims are between the ages of 30 to 59 years. The remaining 16 patients are in the age group of 60 years and above. Israeli researchers said on Saturday they found that a 3-dose course of Pfizer and BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccine provided significant protection against the new Omicron variant. The findings were similar to those presented by BioNTech and Pfizer earlier in the week, which were an early signal that booster shots could be key to protect against infection from the newly identified variant. The study carried out by the Sheba Medical Center and the Health Ministry's Central Virology Laboratory compared the blood of 20 people who had received 2 vaccine doses 5 to 6 months earlier to the same number of individuals who had received a booster a month before. The wholesale price of a kilogram of imported rice has reduced by 20 rupees, rice importers said yesterday. They said the wholesale price of Ponni Samba rice, which is imported from India, has been reduced to 120 rupees per kilogram. The wholesale price of Nadu rice has been reduced to 110 rupees per kilogram and white raw rice to 98 rupees a kilogram, importers said. They said the sharp decline in the prices of rice varieties in India is attributed to this situation. Meanwhile, importers said that the importing of rice will continue and sufficient stocks are stored in the PETA warehouses, the importers added. That's local news.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's credit cards from People's Bank. Discounts up to 60% and interest-free installment plans from selected merchants.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Central Bank of Sri Lanka announces to the public to take immediate measures to change US dollars into Sri Lankan rupees at their possessing. The bank issuing a special memorandum says that many Sri Lankans are keeping large amounts of US dollars with them which were not used for the expected task. The bank said dollars may be earned from overseas occupation, those remaining from foreign tours, or US dollars brought to Sri Lanka to be banked in a personal foreign currency account. The bank requests the public immediately to deposit those US dollars in a local bank. The bank said all the local banks will provide 210 Sri Lankan rupees per US dollar. It also added the rate for $1 is 200 Sri Lankan rupees and each dollar will be added with 10 rupees as an incentive.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, health authorities have requested the public to follow health guidelines strictly as the coronavirus infections crossed the 700 mark for the last few weeks. The Director General of the Health Services, Dr. Asela Gunawardena, said that it is a high risk for the public to get involved with large gatherings or get-togethers. He requests the public to refrain from travelling between the provinces. He points out that 600 to 750 coronavirus patients are still being reported daily from the country. Therefore, he emphasises that the pandemic can spread rapidly again if the public acts irresponsibly.
Coming up, World News.
In world news headlines, Kentucky tornadoes desperate search for survivors as death toll rises. Indian police foil man's attempt to fake death. In COVID news, Boris Johnson sets new booster target over Omicron tidal wave. A desperate search for survivors is underway in parts of 6 US states devastated by powerful tornadoes that have left at least 94 people dead. Dozens more people are missing and entire towns were destroyed by about 30 tornadoes on Friday. President Biden has declared a disaster in Kentucky, the worst affected state. At least 80 people have died in the state, including dozens in a candle factory, and the death toll is expected to rise above 100. Indian police say they have foiled a plot by a man who tried to fake his own death to avoid being returned to jail. Officers in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh say Sudesh Kumar, 36, murdered a man and tried to pass the body off as his own with the aid of his wife. But police found CCTV footage of him carrying the body on a bike. Kumar was reportedly released on parole during the COVID-19 pandemic after being charged with the murder of his 13-year-old daughter in 2018. Booster jabs will be offered to everyone over 18 in England from this week, the Prime Minister has announced as he declared an Omicron emergency. No one should be in any doubt there is a tidal wave of Omicron coming, Boris Johnson said in a TV statement yesterday evening. The target to offer a booster to all adults by the end of January will be brought forward by a month, he said. Some medical appointments may also be postponed to focus on boosters. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Kentucky tornadoes. Desperate search for survivors as death toll rises. Indian police foil man's attempt to fake death. In COVID news, Boris Johnson sets new booster target over Omicron tidal wave.
Development news is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
A fully equipped hospital will be constructed in the Colombo-Dematogoda area. 5 acres of land have been identified for this purpose. The State Ministry for Urban Development says an MOU with the Indian Popular Hospital Group of companies has been signed to implement this project. A sum of $200 million has been allocated for this purpose.
Development news was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on with sports news.
In cricket news, Colombo Stars registered an emphatic win and moved to the 4th spot in the points table. Angelo Matthews called the shots brilliantly and led from the front by setting the platform with his quick-fire 73, while Chandimal's onslaught helped Stars amass a competitive 162-run total on the board. Gladiators started off their chase well in the power play, but an untimely wicket of Gunathilaka opened the floodgates. Thereon, Hafiz and Kusal Mendes did some rebuilding work and stitched a 50 stand, but as the asking rate kept creeping up, wickets started to fall at regular intervals. Naveenul Haq bowled accurately at the death and nailed his Yorkers, change-up deliveries and sharp bumpers to ruffle the batters. In scores, Colombo Stars batted first and made 162 for 7 in 20 overs. In reply, Gaul Gladiators were shot out for 121. Colombo Stars won the match by 41 runs.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U-Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
SCC's chairman Viraj Dayaratna underscored the importance of companies documenting their environmental, social and governance ESG-related data in their annual reports. Dayaratna further linked such information to potentially being part of the material information that could be the duty of companies to report to all stakeholders through market disclosures. Dayaratna was speaking as chief guest on the 9th of December at the CA Sri Lanka's annual report award ceremony held at the BMICH. Dayaratna noted that in the coming years, the annual report awards was to incorporate in a larger scope ESG factors into the assessment criteria.
Business News, Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The government will implement a tourism promotion campaign in the key markets of the UK, Germany, France, the Middle East and India between November 2021 and April 2022. This will coincide with the 21-22 tourism season and will cost 273 million rupees, the Ministry's Secretary Siripala Hettiarachchi told the media yesterday. The breakdown of this cost will be 200 million rupees for the global advertising campaign, which includes the BBC and the CNN, a social media campaign in France worth 53 million rupees and also another social media campaign in the Middle East worth 20 million rupees. There will also be a tactical level trade promotion as well. Cabinet approval has been given for a proposal submitted by the Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga for this exercise.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The weather report.
The Met Department says a northeast monsoon is gradually establishing over the island. Showers will occur at times in the eastern, northern, north central and the Uva provinces and in the Hambantota and Mathale districts. Fairly heavy rainfall above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. Showers, thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamu and the northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Gala and Mathare districts during the evening or night. Fairly heavy rainfall above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western and the Sabaragamu provinces and in the Gala and Mathare districts during the morning. This report was issued this morning at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com reports that the day's weather will be bright with occasional showers. Today's daytime temperature would be around 30 degrees Celsius. There will be light showers in many places in the Colombo district in the night. Tonight's temperature will be around 25 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in select spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 25 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The air quality index is 19, which shows a fair condition in Colombo. The air quality is ideal for most individuals to enjoy your normal outdoor activities. And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. An announcement on the rollout of COVID-19 booster doses in Sri Lanka. People urged not to fear mild symptoms developed after booster dose. In COVID news, 714 infections in total recorded. Sri Lanka confirms 19 more COVID deaths. An Israeli study finds the Pfizer booster vaccine protects against Omicron. Importers say the wholesale price of imported rice has decreased. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka announces to the public to take immediate measures to change US dollars into Sri Lankan rupees if they are possessing. In news overseas, Kentucky tornadoes desperate search for survivors as death toll rises. In sports news, Matthews, 73, on return from injury, wins it 4 stars. That concludes this news broadcast.